requirements being
working at the highest levels of the federal government. I know her love for our island, her deep belief that my fellow veterans are an abiding priority, and I know we can trust her with our future. Join me, vote for Ginger Cruz for Congress. Si Juus Maasri.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this message, and I humbly ask for your vote.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators up to $7,000 off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
Early voting begins in Tumon. The community can now get a head start in deciding who they want to lead the island.
3 bills signed into law recently, including one hoping to reduce the long wait times at Rev and Tax. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the details.
Nearly $1 million available to those on island in federal grants who have an idea to better our community. I'm Tomas Maglonia with the full story coming up and what you need to know if you'd like to apply.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz. Thanks so much for starting your week off with us. 21 days until Election Day, and voters are already getting a head start at the polls. KUAM speaking with island residents who cast their ballots today at the early voting center at the Western Resort in Tumon.
From a desire for a better facility to receive essential care.
I'm getting old. I need a new hospital.
To urgent calls for the island to remain a top priority for the federal government.
Make sure that there's enough federal support to Guam because it seems we're somehow forgotten.
To a push to revitalize the island's tourism market to its former glory.
Our leaders should really push on bringing back that tourism how it was, pre-pandemic time.
These are just a few of the crucial concerns expressed by voters at the Westin Resort in Tumon today, all hopeful their ballots will bring about the change they desire. The early voting center is seeing a fairly busy turnout as polls opened early Monday morning. Maria Pangilinan is the executive director of the Guam Election Commission.
We're doing good. We're hoping the trend continues.
It's an upward trend she hopes to see, with early voter turnout totaling around 7,000 during the August primary election. Meanwhile, Democratic candidate for Congressional delegate Ginger Cruz also casting her vote ahead of the November race.
As a citizen, I think it is really important that I come out and cast my ballot for all of the different offices. It all means something, and it's kind of a sacred duty.
Republican opponent Congressman James Moylan's campaign confirms he will also vote early. It's a duty that has these voters reminding the community to get out and make their voices heard.
If you don't come out and vote, then don't complain.
Very crucial to vote. It's your right to vote. Exercise it.
Early voting will continue at the Westin Resort in Tumon from Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. until October 28th. For more information, visit KUAM.com.
From military buildup to the economy, candidates for Guam delegate tackled a host of issues important to the island during the KUAM News 2024 congressional debate. It's already been 1 week since the event was held at the Encore Theater located at the Crown Plaza Resort in Tumon. Tonight is your chance to watch the encore of the debate immediately following primetime. Listen to what incumbent James Moylan and his challenger Ginger Cruz had to say in response to questions from your news team and from community organizations. If you vote in the Northern Marianas, we want to hear from you. KUAM News recently launched its interactive online CNMI delegate poll asking, who do you think should be the next delegate to Congress? Vote now and through the month. 5 candidates are running for the D.C. seat: Democrat Ed Prost, Republican Kimberlyn King-Hines, and Independents John Gonzalez, Leanna Hofschneider, and James Riven. You can find the link on our KUAM News Facebook page, KUAM CNMI on Instagram, and KUAM.com. Commonwealth Election Commission Executive Director Kayla Igatol tells KUAM News that 1,091 absentee voting applications were received before the October 11th deadline. Meanwhile, early voting has been ongoing for the Northern Islands. So far, 56 out of 186 registered voters from the Northern Islands have cast their votes. Early voting for Saipan, Tinian, and Rota begins on October 29. Overall, there are 18,401 registered voters for the midterm election. And this week on The Hub, we have 4 senatorial candidates scheduled to appear in our KUAM studios. Under the Republican ticket is incumbent Joanne Brown and newcomer Shelley Calvo. In the Democrat race, we've got incumbents Tina Munoz-Barnes and Roy Kanata. Hear what these 4 senatorial candidates have to say as they each take questions from you, the voters. The Hub airs every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. following primetime. And the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce is also hosting a general election forum featuring the candidates for Guam delegate incumbent James Moylan and challenger Ginger Cruz. Also confirmed to attend are senatorial candidates Roy Kanata, Tina Munoz-Barnes, Joe San Agustin, Bistra Mendiola, Sabina Perez, Tom Fisher, Will Parkinson, and Sean Gumatautau. The candidate forum is set for October 24 at the Hyatt Regency Guam. Get your tickets now at guamwomenschamber.com. A man accused in a deadly Valentine's Day robbery is denied his request to have certain evidence kept from a jury at trial. Defendant Domingo Mendiola is facing charges of aggravated murder and robbery in connection to the February shooting death of Sumitra Lairopi outside the Thai Thai restaurant in Tumuning. Defense contends his rights were violated at the time police took him into custody for questioning. Superior Court presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena denied the request, stating the defendant told officers he understood his rights when he was being interrogated. The court also denied Mendiola's request to disqualify the prosecutor and investigators from the case. You may recall investigators say the deadly robbery was carried out to get money to pay off a drug debt. Co-defendant Jenna Manabusan is also facing related conspiracy charges. A Superior Court jury convicts a man for molesting a 12-year-old girl. 33-year-old Dwayne Cruz de Guzman was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, including special allegations of vulnerable victim. It took a jury just over an hour to deliberate Friday. Prosecutors are set to ask Judge John Terlahi that de Guzman serve 90 years in prison. At the time of his arrest, de Guzman told police that he, quote, has a hard time finding women his age and thinks it is easier to find younger girls because they can be easily persuaded with money and gifts. The Attorney General's office is again requesting from the Guam Legislature to make convictions for pedophiles mandatory for life in prison without the possibility of parole, to send a strong message of deterrence to all who would harm our children. And support was given today on Bill 351 during a public hearing held on the measure at the Guam Legislature. The measure would allow the courts to try and convict a person for criminal sexual conduct committed while a juvenile, regardless of his or her age at the date the person is charged with an offense. Attorney General Doug Moylan testified the bill addresses the core issue of accountability, making both minors and their parents aware that the family court will not be a shield as of right against justice for our community and those hurt by minors.
I feel comfortable that leaving it with our judges, but what I like is it removes the 16-year-old floor. That if you get a 14-year-old or even a 12-year-old, because some 12-year-olds are taller than I am already, you know, and they're very imposing, and I was court appointed to a few of them that were just basically big guys, and that can cause, you know, because it's a, what is it, CSE is a crime of violence. It's overpowering a female normally, or a male for that matter. You know, the homosexuality that goes on, those sorts of things. So I think it's beautiful because it allows the court to make these decisions, the judges to make these decisions. And I'll let you know right now, and we were having a conversation before this, there are certain judges in our judiciary that have already taken that approach to go after the parents and these predators, like Judge Barcinas. You do not receive any mercy, for the most part, with Judge Barcinas. He doesn't like waiving restitution for parents that may be impoverished, because that's the pain that is necessary to get change behavior. And it's the word that goes around. If you can't get the public trial, at least you get the whispers among the kids that, Joe is no longer in class because he's over at DYA for the next 6 months, or those sorts of things. But we need to up in my opinion, we need to up the ante so that parents are feeling the burn as much as the kids are being, quote unquote, punished in family court. There's got to be a parental change that's effective, because I think there's so much against parents these days that, this is an excellent start.
The AG adding he welcomes more legislations holding students and most especially their parents legally and financially responsible. This is in response to the recent violent threats made toward local schools. In other news, the acting governor signing 3 bills into law recently, including one that aims to reduce the long lines at the Department of Revenue and Taxation. Under the new law, drivers now have the option of getting a license to be renewed every 8 years. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
It's no secret long lines at Rev and Tax can take up half your day if you don't line up early enough. Barrigada resident David Munoz has been waiting for more than an hour Monday morning.
I'm trying to renew my driver's license, and I'm just taking a break because I'm sitting a long time there.
Thousands line up every 3 or 5 years to renew their driver's license before they expire, causing congestion at the Barrigada facility. Now, a new law aims to reduce the long wait with an 8-year driver's license. Acting Governor Josh Tenorio swiftly signing Senator Roy Canata's Bill 174 last Wednesday.
This means that if you decide to get a driver's license beginning tomorrow, you'll be able to ask for one that expires 8 years from now. It's a good effort that helps modernize our government, but it helps give convenience to the people of Guam.
Teresa Gonzalez and her granddaughter, Janixa Sanchez, just finding out the good news.
I just recently got my license.
Oh, that's your license?
Yes.
And hearing that you can wait 8 years now to renew your driver's license, how does that make you feel?
That feels good. I really didn't know that.
Just now.
Yeah,
You're
just
for
now.
last. Yeah, and that's gonna be good. We don't have to line up every 5 years.
The law aligns with the maximum renewal period allowed under the Real ID Act. The 8-year renewal option costs $65. In comparison, renewing your license every 5 years costs $45 and $25 for 3 years. Meantime, 2 other bills were also signed into law recently. The acting governor also enacting Speaker Therese Terlahi's Bill 338, which creates a new instructional tasting license that allows for wine and beer tastings at breweries, wineries, wine boutiques, or wine shops. Plus, Senator Sabina Perez's Bill 124 that updates the practice of insurance on Guam by requiring individuals applying to be insurers to submit their applications using the National Association of Insurance Commissioners Uniform Certificate of Authority application. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
More news after this break. You're watching KUAM.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. Let's not belong when there ain't no soul. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when I make a move. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when let's take a break. There's no use. My mood when I make a move. This is my mood when
Get ready to soak up the savings this summer at Kmart. Since 1995, Kmart has been the ultimate summer destination for everything you need. From groceries to outdoor living to everyday fashions for the family, we've been there for you. 24 hours a day. Kmart is committed to saving you time and money by offering big international and American brands you know at prices incredibly low. Whether you're finding the perfect shade for that summer glow in our beauty care aisles, firing up your summer cookouts from top brands like Weber and Kenmore, or gearing up for those outdoor camping and beach adventures, Kmart's your one-stop shop for an active, fun-filled summer. So, join the fun and soak up the savings. You'll find everything you need and more, only at Kmart, the ultimate shopping destination in Guam, where savings, quality, and summer fun meet under one roof. Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
Let me win!
But if I cannot win,
let me be red in the attempt!
Come join us at the Dedido Sports Complex for the Special Olympics Softball Jamboree on October 19th from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Support these athletes and keep their dream alive.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York-style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $12.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $12.99 for carryout. Classic New York-style pizza, so close you can taste it. Only at your island Pizza Hut.
Welcome back to Primetime. Well, what would you do with $1 million? Funding for your idea to improve our island community is available for Guam and the Northern Marianas. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia reports.
500 Sales co-founder and senior advisor to the Marianas Alliance of NGOs, Emma Perez, knows the impact a grant can have on a community.
Administration for Native Americans has changed the face of the CNMI. They were the first major funder for 500 Sales. And they have subsequently, we've had 2 additional grants, and they've also funded Mango. So millions have come into the CNMI.
Perez and Paige Okamura, training specialists with the ANA Pacific Region TTA Center, co-taught a Saipan training about how to apply for grants, including ANA.
Their grant funding has a threshold of $300,000 per budget year for a maximum of a 3-year project. So that's just short of $1 million.
Okamura also held a training on Guam. ANA promotes self-sufficiency and cultural preservation by providing social and economic development opportunities through financial assistance, training, and technical assistance.
Spend 3 days developing project proposals that folks can use to request funding for any funder. So not just the Administration for Native Americans, but for any federal funding, non-federal funding. We help them develop a solid project outline that they can turn into a funding proposal.
Tomas Manglotnia, KUAM News, Saipan.
The new SpaceX rocket booster making history not for the launch, but the landing. Steve Patterson explains.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Tonight, the ingenuity of man making the stars seem just a little closer.
We have liftoff.
The most ambitious SpaceX uncrewed mission yet, Starship, blasting off for its 5th test flight. But this time, there's a big catch.
Are you kidding me?
The world's largest rocket sending a ship into orbit.
A gorgeous view of planet Earth.
But this new chapter in space history is all about what happened back on Earth.
You can see it coming down through the plume.
All for a moment once thought impossible. The rocket guides down to the launch pad where it is literally caught by giant metal pincers.
Oh my God.
Former astronaut Mike Massimino was in disbelief.
Wow. They did it. I don't doubt anything that they say they can do because they've been delivering on these very, very ambitious objectives.
The program, in partnership with NASA, aims to reuse equipment for manned missions to the moon as early as 2026 and eventually even as far as Mars. Another giant leap for mankind.
This is absolutely
Steve Patterson, NBC News.
Well, the days leading up to the Walk for Water event were full of rain and gray clouds, but on Saturday the skies were blue and the sun was out, setting the stage at Legislature Beach. Many residents and guests from off-island took part in the Walk for Water, which also was an Amit walk. The morning celebration for water justice and native land stewardship was led by stewards of Legislature, Zoamti, fishers, cultural practitioners, and allies rooted in the belief that water is life. The spiritual and impactful event featured keynote speakers, music, and an opportunity for education. Cruz.
And we are activating the power that is inside of us, that has been endowed to us by our Creator, that we have inherited from our ancestors, and that is what brings us here, and that is why we walk, and we walk together as protectors. We hold in our hearts the stories of these ancestors, the struggles of our present, and the hope to overcome these struggles, to restore a collective liberation in a just and sustainable future.
Walk for Water was also in memory of Jeremy Cepeda, who passed away in September. Cepeda was a chanter who was committed to education and uplifting Ifinota of the Chamorro people. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured from the mouth of Hagatna boat basin.
My opponent raised the issue of minority contracting, 8A as it's called, something his party is trying to cut and something he's done nothing about. My view is it should be more about opportunity for every single person on Guam. A dad or a mom running a small business, trying to put their kids through college. Doesn't everyone deserve a shot? When one person rises, we all rise. I will work to expand hub zones, the most widely used preferential contracting on Guam. I'm Ginger Cruz, and I approve this ad.
Hey, I got the job. So I can go part-time. Yes!
Some days bring new opportunities. First Hawaiian Bank can help you say yes to making the most of them. Manage your accounts, earn cash back, and when you need advice, we're here for you.
We should really get him into an art program.
No matter where your journeys take you, you can bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Guam is an amazing place, but times have changed, eroding our values of respect and compassion, leading us to tear each other down. It's time to restore what we need the most, hope. Hope keeps us alive. It keeps us from giving up and leaving our island. Hope helps restore our faith in one another. Shelley Calvo brings the type of hopeful leadership that understands that as we build a brand new hospital, it's equally important to build each other up. Shelley understands that strengthening our economy is only as good as strengthening the ties that bind our community. Shelley will ensure that we live on an island where success is measured by the number of lives we improve. Shelley Calvo will introduce strong legislation and bring us great leadership, but more importantly, Shelley brings hope. On November 5th, please vote Shelley Calvo for Senator, number 3 Republican. Hope has arrived.
This is Shelley Calvo, and I approve this message.
I could feel it, I won't come down. I could see it with all that.
Hey, Devontae.
Let me get a cantina chicken burrito in a bowl with that seasoned, slow-roasted chicken I like, please.
You have a golf course in your house?
I got a Taco Bell in my house, bro.
Where did it go? Where did it go?
Oh, there it is. Cheaters don't get chicken. Huh? Cheaters get no chicken.
I won't give him any.
To the man, CNMI coordinator 6.
Pass! East side, underhook.
To the podium, Clarence Marquez.
Keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. 2 all beef patties, 2 chicken patties, lettuce, 2 chicken patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, sesame seed bun. 2 delicious patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun.
It's not a Big Mac. It's the Chicken Big Mac. Get it while you can.
When you talk to people in the community, there is a cry for change. I want to be able to provide a different option, another choice. I hope to bring common sense. I hope to bring new ideas. I hope to bring a new way of leading and collaborating within the Guam Legislature in order to change the direction. I'm throwing my hat in the ring and offer another choice for people to select to serve in the Guam Legislature.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
Okay, everybody, November 6th, the day after the election, things are going to be happening at the Hawaiian is the Guam Top Chef's table beginning at sundown, 6 p.m. You're going to experience 10 culinary wonders of the Pacific featuring some of the island's most talented chefs. Check it out, 10-course meal. Make sure you get your tickets, not to be missed. If you'd like to learn more about the University of Guam, you want to stop by the Center Court at the Micronesia Mall on the 19th. That is this Saturday, and you can learn more about how we do things up at the home of the Trine's higher education. Guam is the premier place to come and study. If you like it, check it out. 10 to 4 for the Sea of Green Community Outreach Event. Programs, financial aid, opportunities, and much more. And there are nutrition and healthy cooking classes happening up in the CNMI, so make sure to register and participate. Great way to make some great food that's going to be great for you. Every Monday and Thursday until November 25th, 9 interactive cooking lessons on healthy cooking and healthy eating. That is how to get it done. And that is what we do on News Bites.
All right, here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutout submitted on KUAM.com.
We have some extra special birthday shout-outs, so here we go. Happy birthday, champ, from Mom, Dad, and the family. We are truly blessed to have you as such a wonderful son. We love you, and we wish you the very best. And happy second birthday to Zacavian Pareto, a.k.a. Zay. Love Uncle Jay and Uncle Louis. Happy birthday to you both, and celebrate with your families and friends.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz. Stay beautiful, and good night.
You're watching the KUAM News 2024 Congressional Debate. I'm Nick Delgado. We are coming to you live from inside the Encore Theater here at the Crown Plaza Resort in Tumon. We want to thank our partners as well, Docomo Pacific. Let's bring out the candidates. Under the Republican ticket, incumbent James Moylan, and his opponent under the Democrat ticket, Ginger Cruz. Hafaday. Candidates, we will have a coin toss to see who will answer first and who will get the last word of the night. All right. As Congressman Moylan being the incumbent, he will get to call tonight's coin toss. Jason? And it's heads. Coin toss, would you like to go first, or would you like to give it to Congressman Moylan? Thank you. Candidates, please take your positions at the podium. And Congressman Moylan will take the first question. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us as well here in the audience. Let's get to the debate. Tonight, the candidates will spend 90 minutes taking questions from your news team and from community organizations we've invited here tonight. There will be no opening statements. Each candidate being posed a question will get 60 seconds to answer. The opponent will get 60 seconds for rebuttal, followed by the candidate posed the question getting 30 seconds to respond. Timers right up front here, candidates. We'll be giving you a 30-second and 10-second countdown. Mics will be muted when time belongs to the other candidate. Neither candidates tonight were given topics or questions ahead of the debate, and candidates are not allowed to bring notes, but we are providing a notepad and pen for them during tonight's debate. All right, candidates. Congressman Moylan, first question. How would you reconcile the military buildup concerns of local residents and indigenous rights groups with regard to land use and environmental impact?
Well, thank you for that question. And first, I'd just like to thank the audience for being with us here tonight. I especially, as a veteran myself, serving in the Army, started as an enlisted and now moved my way up to an officer. Want to thank the veterans that are here tonight as well. And that's what's important about your question. How will we balance this out? This is the one island approach. In my communications with the Joint Regional Marianas and the Joint Regional Micronesia has been very well. We continue with that open discussion on how to move things forward with the governor's office as well, with the administration and with the villages too. Every concern that is brought from the island is relayed back to the Joint Regional Marianas. It's important for the military to ensure that this is done correctly. We want the buildup to happen for the protection of the island, but most importantly, we want to make sure it's done right. And as your representative and as a member also of the House of Armed Services, your voice is being heard to make sure that does happen.
Thank you, Congressman Moylan. That's your time. Ginger, your rebuttal.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who's here today. You know, this is a really critical issue for the people of Guam because we are facing some of the most dangerous times. But while we are facing dangerous times and while we are the tip of the military spear, we also need to understand that the ensuring of Guam's land rights, the ensuring of our culture, and the existence of the people of Guam have to be the #1 priority. And that is what the Indo-PACOM commander has said. He said the most important thing is the lives of 170,000 U.S. citizens that are living on this island. So we have to balance that. I would have an open door policy to ensure that the issues that are faced for our environment and for our land must be respected and must be incorporated. And I believe that the U.S. military will listen to those and will incorporate them, but it has to be done through aggressive dialogue to ensure that those concerns are incorporated into how the military buildup is executed on our island. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congressman Moylan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I also have regular monthly meetings with Rear Admiral Hoffman and Rear Admiral DeVore. Just a few days ago, we had our discussion on what's the importancy. We're looking at landmass use, we're looking at doing things properly, but we're also looking at the missile defense system on Guam and the testing that's coming up for the safety of the island, which I will be a part of as well, and to ensure the security of our infrastructure is protected as well and fortified as we build our island sustainability with FEMA working hand in hand with the military and as well.
Thank you, both candidates, for your responses to that question. Next question is over to candidate Cruz. What strategies would you implement to diversify Guam's economy and reduce its reliance on military support?
So diversifying our economy is super important. First of all, we have to expand our engagement in the broadband arena. All of these undersea cables come and crisscross through Guam, and that is a whole area where we need to leverage that. We need to improve the capability of our electricity so that we have clean electricity, and we need to create high-paying jobs. But we also have to leverage the military buildup. The first thing we need to do in that case is bring back the ship repair facility. Those were 2,500 really good-paying jobs, and we need to bring that back for the island of Guam. And then there's additive manufacturing. That has already seen some activity by the government of Guam, but in Congress there's a lot more that can be done to support that, because that is an area where we need to see progress. If there's going to be more military activity on Guam, then the companies on Guam and the people of Guam need those jobs and need those contracts, and we have to make sure that that happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Congressman Moylan, your rebuttal.
It's important to notice that it's very costly to do business on Guam. We need to ensure that the cost of that is reduced as much as possible. First of all, let's discuss about our port. Our port is in dire need of a lot of improvements, but what I also like to see as an improvement is to consider our port with a study that I've already introduced to make this a customs zone, a U.S. customs zone, as a study to consider to make our ports a seaport for the U.S. as well. But also, more importantly, that we can have shipping companies from Asia come on in here and make this port a base for Guam as in the Asia Pacific, to make it workable, to reduce the cost of goods, to attract companies to Guam, to have a good environment, to the infrastructure, to be sure that it's sound and secure with making it solid. We need reliable electricity, which we're working with FEMA as well. So the infrastructure must be good. Our ports must be able to handle if we want to create additional businesses to come into Guam.
Thank you. Candidate Cruz?
Thank you. So federalizing our customs is something that I actually had a press release that I put out today. We need to be very careful before we do that, because if we federalize customs, the first thing that's going to happen, U.S. Customs has higher fees. And you know what that means? The cost of all of the goods and services on Guam will go up because U.S. Customs is going to charge import tariffs, and the Guam Customs doesn't do that. So we have to be very careful about things that we ask for, because federalizing could end up costing the people of Guam a lot of money.
All right, Congressman Moylan, next question. Does increasing military presence make Guam safer or make Guam a target?
Test. All right, there we go. As a member of the House of Armed Services here, it is the defense of the island of Guam that we are concerned with. It's the National Defense Authorization Act, not the National Defense Aggression Act. We are defending the island against our enemies. We saw a missile test from the Republic of China that went over the Philippines, that came by Guam and ended up in the seas just off the south of Hawaii. We need the military to protect the island of Guam, our freedoms for the Mariana Islands, the open sea chains, the Indo-PACOM area. They are here to defend, not aggress. If we don't have the military here, we're an open target. This will make our island safer. Making our island safer makes it safer for our community, makes it safer for businesses that want to come in, makes it safer for our nation as well. This is the homeland. Indo-PACOM said, Commander said, we are here to defend the homeland. We are here to defend the people of Guam.
Thank you, Congressman. Candidate Cruz, your rebuttal.
Thank you. Well, that is actually sort of a false question, because we can't really ask that question. Nobody on Guam is able to say, yes, we want military buildup, or no, we don't, because we're an unincorporated territory. So we have to deal with what we've got. And the thing that we have to understand is we need to take care of the homeland. Right now, we need to be fighting for significantly more help for both civil defense, homeland security, and our National Guard, so that we can ensure that we are prepared, because we don't have that choice. We can't say, yes, we want more military buildup, or no, we don't. That choice is made completely outside of our ability to influence it. And so what we can influence is our ability to fight for the resources, so at least we can protect the homeland. At least we can be informed, so that when we have all of these tests for all of these emergency systems, who here in the audience or who at home knows, what do we do if one of those actually goes off? We have to be prepared. We have to do a better job, get more resources, and make sure that we on Guam are prepared.
Thank you. Congressman Moylan, your follow-up.
We have engaged the National Guard into the Joint Regional Marianas by making them part of the plan to defend the island of Guam. The National Guard will be part of that plan to explain to Joint Regional Marianas the importance and what it takes to defend the island if in case an emergency does happen. We have brought in $3.2 billion in the first NDAA in FY24. We have $1.8 billion waiting to come in the following NDAA. This is all in defense of our nation, our island of Guam.
Thank you, candidates, for your responses. Candidate Cruz, this next question will begin with you. How will you direct federal resources to help our ailing public hospital?
So the first thing we need to do is, we should have been doing this for the last 2 years, we need to upgrade the federal reimbursement. Right now, the Guam Memorial Hospital is being reimbursed at rates that were set in 2014. We all know nothing costs the same. It's been 10 years, and we have to upgrade that. We have to work in the Congress to get those TEFRA reimbursement rates up. The second thing we need to do is be really creative and figure out ways that we can get critical access designation for GMH, because that will open up a lot of opportunities for us to get more assistance and more help for our hospital. Plus, we need to come up with new ways to take care of the disabled and the elderly who are taking up bed space, because that bed space is needed by critical care, and we need to find alternatives so that we can truly help all of the people of Guam that have a variety of healthcare needs that are not being fully met by the federal government. There's a lot more that we can do, and I am committed to do it.
Congressman Moylan.
Guam Memorial Hospital needs additional money. Medicare and Medicaid rates are way below than what they should be. We've included in an appropriation measure the study to rebase those rates. That is wrong. That will be corrected. Medicaid also should have no cap. We instructed that to happen as well. In addition, we need more nurses. H2B was successful for our construction, and this time I'm having H2B be successful for the professions that we need to have on the island, especially nurses. And finally, portability of Medicare to the Philippines. We have a good hospital nearby. We need specialty care. That measure is in there as well. These are things I will continue to do as a member of Congress in the 119th to follow through to make it happen for Guam. Those are important to our island. Thank you.
Candidate Cruz, your follow-up?
So one of the things we need to look at is SSI, and we did not get SSI. When we lost Compact Impact, when my opponent was actually unable to get us included in the CFA regulations, we lost SSI once again, and we've not been able to get it. We need to fight for that, because that's going to help take some of that pressure off. And in addition to that, we do need to get rid of the Medicaid cap so that we can have more programs for our hospital and to help the homeless as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Congressman Moylan, we'll begin with you for this next question. What specific policies will you advocate for to promote economic growth in Guam, especially in light of our unique geographic and economic challenges?
There's a lot that can be done. Again, we have to ensure that our infrastructure is in place to do it right. That's why we have FEMA assisting us to harden it and make things better and done correctly before the next storm comes. In addition, of course, again, I've got to get back to the customs zone. This is important for us to open our seaways, to make our port more successful, to bring in more business. We can attract a lot of business as long as the island of Guam is safe with the missile defense system, for proper infrastructure, and a willingness to be safe so we can come and build businesses here on the island of Guam that is well protected. This is how we're going to unite our Indo-PACOM area, allowing them to see the success come to the United States, where we are the most western part of the United States, to make this happen. Thank you.
All right. Candidate Cruz, your rebuttal.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Yes. What specific policies will you advocate for to promote economic growth in Guam, especially in light of our unique geographic and economic challenges?
So to promote economic growth, the first thing that we need to do is we need to look to Asia, because that is an area where the federal government is doing more and more work. They are building up opportunities in the Philippines, in Korea, in Japan, and it's right next to Guam because we are America in the Pacific. So we need to start looking to the areas that are close to us and make Guam the bridge so that we're not only a military buildup location for the United States, so that we are an economic buildup location. Because when there are intergovernmental organizations that are having meetings, let's say ASEAN or all of the defense secretaries get together, wouldn't it be great if we could attract some of them, get Indo-PACOM to send them to Guam, to help our hotels, to help our industries to thrive by bringing some of that to Guam? That would be one way to do it. The other way is to get lower costs on Guam by getting more of our goods and services from Asia. Thank you.
Thank you. Congressman Moylan, your follow-up.
Again, we make Guam safe. Asia definitely wants to come and be part of this. We need to make it less expensive for them to come. We need our ports, we need the shipping lines to come in as well. This is important to start business going. When as a senator, we're in the 35th and 36th Guam Legislature, we also looked at tax breaks for these companies to come as well. There's continuous opportunities. Make Guam safe, make it safe for the people of Guam, make it safe for investors to come to Guam, and we can protect this Indo-PACOM area through commerce.
All right. Candidate Cruz, Guam in 2024 continues to deal with issues like load shedding. What policies would you support to promote renewable energy initiatives in Guam?
So right now, the Guam Power Authority has a pretty aggressive plan to get solar energy boosted, and I think they are well on the way to do that. There are federal programs which provide incentives to different industries to bring more of that renewable energy to Guam, and that is something that we need to look at. But one of the things I'm concerned about is we also have a federal government that is, without a lot of consultation with us, talking about putting windmills out in the ocean around Guam. And what concerns me is, have we actually discussed that? What is the impact going to be on fisheries? What is the impact going to be for the people of Guam? You know, there's also been visits by groups that are talking about nuclear energy. Now, that may be an option in the future, but we also need to be engaged. I am very concerned that we are not at the table and we are not understanding exactly what the implications are. The people of Guam and the citizens of Guam need to be engaged because, yes, we do need alternatives for energy, but we also need to know what is happening on our island.
Congressman Warren, your follow-up.
Thank you. And I understand it's the people of Guam, that the administration that wants to decide the best source of alternative energy. I understand the administration is looking at the feasibility study to determine if the windmills out of the ocean are feasible. I support that decision. I understand GPA is looking at batteries to support clean energy. I support that decision as well. My duty as congressman is something called Build America, Buy America, B-A-B-A. And in tomorrow, B-A-B-A means Baba, because the cost of getting those materials to whatever decision that the administration decides, whatever decision that the people of Guam decides, it's going to cost to bring materials over here. It shouldn't have to be because of the Baba, Build America, Buy America, but it should allow us to be exempt from that so we can get from our Asian counterparts that are in favor of the Indo-PACOM area working together so we can get lower supplies and bring that price down on the decision that is made by the people of Guam, by the administration of Guam, and the professionals here on Guam, because we know what's best for Guam. Thank you.
Candidate Cruz, your follow-up.
Thank you. I think it's interesting because that Build America, Buy America program is the thing that is stopping our port from being able to get cranes in place. And you have got a congressional group that has basically put in place options where they're saying, let's go get our ships repaired in Korea. Let's go get them repaired in Japan. And yet when we on Guam need to get a crane, we can't get a crane because of the Build America, Buy America. And we need to fight. And he's talking about a port that works. Well, we need to fight harder and make sure that our port is able to do that and is able to put that material up.
All right. Congressman Moylan. Water rates are going to spike over the next half decade. What proposals do you have to alleviate the rising costs that we will incur?
We're fortunate enough through my colleagues in Congress to get a $35 million grant for the Waterworks Authority on Guam. That's to build another water reservoir at Ugam, to upgrade the system at Ugam as well. This is just the start. Higher capacity in water, so that we can service the South. There's more that needs to get done. And the administration, Congress is listening to what needs to be done. Understand that the Navy wanted to sell us water at a higher rate as well, but that fought back. We fought back. I spoke to the folks at the Pentagon as well and said, that's no. That word got through, and the PUAG authority also said that we're not going to have that, and that has been reversed. So we're moving forward on that to ensure that our rates of utilities, especially the water, especially the grants that we provide for the source of water for Guam, is taken care of through grants that I will continue to fight for in the 119th Congress. Thank you.
Candidate Cruz.
Thank you. There's a lot of things that we need to get the federal government to really ante up on. For example, PFAS contamination. We know that is a serious concern for the people of Guam. I grew up always believing our water was safe, and it turns out it wasn't. And a lot of that is because of contamination that was caused because of the military presence on Guam. We need the federal government to stand up. They need to go beyond what they've been doing. Because, you know, there's things like the land use on Guam, where almost a third of our land is used by the military. And do you know how much they give the government of Guam in exchange for the taxes that we lose because of that? $2,800. Do you know how much they give to people like Wyoming? $38 million. So don't tell us that our land is only worth $2,800. We need the help for our water system. We need them to be able to put in the infrastructure because we're all sharing the water, and those military bases need it as much as us, and they need to help us more with our infrastructure.
Congressman Moylan, your follow-up?
Infrastructure is important. We have good communications with my members of Congress and the House of Armed Services to continue to strengthen that. This is a one island approach that we're working together. We have one source of water, one source of power, one main road. We've increased also the federal funding for $147 million for our infrastructure to harden our roads, to repair our roads. We increased the funding for the Port Authority by $30 million to upgrade our Port Authority as well. We'll continue to do that as too.
All right. Candidate Cruz, labor shortages remain a pressing concern. How will you attract and retain skilled workers to support development both inside and outside the fence?
So that's a good question. There's two parts to that. The first part is when we train workforces to do these great jobs, or when we have our kids go through school and they're our best and brightest, if there are not the good paying jobs available for them, they're going to leave our island, and they will be replaced by H-2 workers or contract workers. We have to look at this holistically, because we've got to create good paying jobs to retain the talent. Think of how many people that you know whose kids, whose grandkids have left the island because they haven't found that good paying job. We can't always be replacing it with H-2 workers. As far as the workers goes, instead of patchworking every time in every NDAA, let's add an amendment to get the H-2 workers put on there. We need a comprehensive relook of the entire immigration system for the island of Guam. It needs to include Philippine visa waiver, H-2 workers, also getting medical professionals like doctors and nurses where we need them to come to our island. There needs to be a comprehensive approach, and from day one, that is something that I am going to do.
Congressman Moylan.
When we started, we were at a one-year time zone to lose the H-2B workers were definitely needed to complete our project. Now we extended that to 5 years through the help of my congressional members that believe in us and believe in Guam. Next, we're going to expand that to 10 years. In addition to expanding that, we're going to include the importance of adding skilled nurses too. That's the short-term goal. The long-term goal is to train our folks here on Guam to take over eventually. Right now, it is important that we get the workers, and that's where they're coming from. The long-term goal is to make sure that our students, our kids, our young adults have the ability to learn and take these classes. In addition, we're going to have storms that will continue to come. We cannot have the island without proper workers in place. That's why the H-2B is important for now, to build our businesses back and also to build the homes that we desperately need. This is what we're doing now. Long-term goal is to support our kids through education, and that's why I want to be coming back in the 119th Congress.
All right. Candidate Cruz, your follow-up?
The reality is that we do not have H-2 workers working outside the fence, and that is because the military is attracting them all inside the fence. It's a lot easier. They make higher Davis-Bacon wages than they do outside the fence. And as a result, our community is suffering. Our businesses are not able to develop where they need H-2 labor. So we've got to figure out how to come up with a solution beyond just the Band-Aids of H-2 workers for the military every couple of years. We need a new solution.
Congressman Moylan, what are your plans to improve the education system in Guam, particularly in terms of federal funding and resources for public schools?
Federal funding is important, especially now. I just went through a graduation at the workforce that Bert Johnson runs for the Trades Academy. They are bursting at the seams for for workers, and we just graduated 50 this month. We will continue to do so. Federal funding is necessary. We're paying vets to go there as well. And we will continue to support that because right out of school, they got jobs that are a great demand, both inside and outside the fence. The ability to start their own small business is very important. Their ability to get a job right away is very important. Skilled labor is what we need now. Young or old, high school graduate, college graduate, I've seen folks in there that even were that are still firemen getting a secondary degree in order to be an electrician. So we continue to do that. We continue to provide grants, and wherever we can, to the University of Guam for nurses, we will continue to support that. The power of the Congress makes things move fast, and that's what I want to do.
Candidate Cruz.
So it's interesting to see how my opponent diverted that question to talk about workforce development, because the real problem that we have is the Department of Education. Let's all be real.